Hello and welcome to day 13 of our 30-day healthy core and yoga flow with a different peak pose in each section. Today we are going and aiming for pigeon pose in a mermaid form. So there'll be some back bends from the floor and up in a prone form to strengthen and stabilize the whole posterior chain of muscles. So we'll take a comfortable seat with that and center ourselves and sit nice and tall on the sit bones, letting the breath come and go as it likes, setting an intention for our practice to clean and clear our layers, to free up stagnant energy with our practice today, and to change our vibrations to something a little notch brighter and a little notch lighter perhaps. So let's bring our hands together in front of the heart and we'll join our voices in one Om together. Take a nice big inhale. Release the hands, open the eyes, and let's start on all fours with our cat-cow that we keep revisiting every practice to wake up the spine and everything that surrounds it, which is pretty much all of us. So let's have the knees and the hips stacked, tuck the toes under, spread the fingers nice and wide, and arch the spine up towards the sky with an exhalation, pulling the lower belly all the way in and up, and exhale, bringing it back down, and again press hands and knees and toes and arch the spine up towards the sky. Nice big wide back body, and gently coming back down, and again arch the spine up towards the sky. Get some nice big waves into all parts of the spine. And two more, arching the spine. Exhale, press hands, knees, toes, and even more vacuum suck the lower belly in and up and make some good memory in muscles around the spine. And exhale, and we make sure that our glutes are not the ones lifting us up, just the core, just the lower belly, middle belly, all the deeper muscles. And gently from there, come back down into neutral spine. And let's flip over to our back, please. And visit our dead bug abdominal core strengthening. It's a great way to hug all of the layers in towards the midline by taking the arms up towards the sky, pulling the lower belly all the way in and lifting our legs up into tabletop. And from here, we'll take 10 with the head down and then 10 with our shoulder blades and head off the floor, if it's available. Opposite arm, opposite leg, extending out, only as far out as we can keep the lower back on towards the floor. Pull that lower belly in and up, keeping the hips nice and stable. Should feel pretty good by day 13. Should feels like a good place to move from, and there should be some nice muscles firing up and stabilizing, as well as being able to move from the core with the muscles even, opposite direction. We'll do 5 more on each side. We'll just keep it going, and 4 more, and we'll keep it going, and 3 more, and 2 more. Opposite arm, opposite leg, lower back stays in towards the floor. 1 more, arching the spine in towards the mat, and then the next 10 we roll the shoulder blades off and take opposite arm, opposite leg for 10. We like to do 20 sets and with 5 different exercises to keep our core healthy. 3 more.
let's change that. I meant 7 more. We were down to 3, but now we have 5 more left. Let's make it nice and even. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Nice. 4 more. Use the core. 3 more. There it is. There's that 3. And then 2 more. And 1 more. Moving from the core. And last one for good measure. Making sure we got those 20 in. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Excellent. And then from here, let's take the feet down and take our right ankle into figure 4. We have a pigeon form coming up today, so this is a good warm up for it. 10 crunches up and down, and then we pulse it for 10. Exhale up and inhale down. Exhale, inhale, and exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And we'll keep it going for 5 more here. Getting our shoulder blades off the floor. 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. We hold it up and pulse it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it back down. And switch sides. Take your left ankle over your right knee, and here we go. We lift it up and down for 10, and we keep that lower back in towards the floor. Vacuum suck the lower belly in and up to really strengthen in towards the whole spine, in towards the hips, in towards the core. 5 more, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more, and then we'll keep it up and pulse it for 10, 9, 7, 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1 more, since I skip numbers here and there, and then we'll bring it back down. Take the feet flat on the floor, bring the knees into the chest, and we'll go right into bent knee to the chest, shoulder blades down for 10, 9, 8, lower back is on the floor, 7, 6, and 5, 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and then we'll keep it going with the shoulder blades off the floor, or we can keep them down. So take what works best for you. 7 more, 6, and 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and bring it all the way in. Go directly into the same version but with straight legs, and we'll keep the lower back, shoulder blades on the floor for 10, and 9, 8, and 7. Lower back stays onto the floor. 6 more, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and then we'll keep it going, rolling the shoulder blades off the floor. 9 more, 8, 7, 6, and 5, 4, really moving from your core for 2 more, and 1 more, and bring your knees into the chest and take a little pause. lower back stretches out, core is being nice and stable and really helping us to stay plugged into our midline and staying plugged in to our center, to our intuition, to our place to move from. From here, we're gonna end with 20 bicycle. So, or knee to opposite elbow, however you like to think of it. So I'll start with my right to my left and switch. And you can come back to laying on the floor and bringing your knees in, or you can come and do your bicycle version. Making sure to keep that lower back onto the floor. And 7 more in this pace. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll take 10 a little quicker. I'm just kind of biking it out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. And bring the knees all the way in. Stretch your legs, your arms, opposite directions. Pull the lower belly in and up and get a nice full body stretch right here. And bring the hands to the sides, bring the feet flat. We'll come back into figure 4 with this time with the left leg straight up towards the sky, hands around your either hamstrings, thread the needle pose, or taking your hands around your calf somewhere. Keep that extended left leg slightly bent at the knee, so there's a nice communication going on in the back of the knee. We're not hyper extending anything. And instead, we're just gonna prep in for mermaid, prepping our right hip to be in a nice square form. Should be some good feelings in towards the right rotators. And then gently bring it back down and switch sides. Take your left ankle over your right, sweep your right leg up to the sky, and take your hands somewhere where it's comfortable for you and where you're feeling a nice stretch in towards your left outer hip. Breathing into the tight area, softening it up, releasing any stagnant energy. There's like a never-ending rinse and repeat when it comes to yoga poses. There's always some nice new layer to dig into. One more breath right here. And exhale, release, bringing it all the way back down. Hook your right leg over your left for supine twist. Take yourself over onto your left hip, and it's organically coming to a twist that works for you. Breathing, softening, letting the lower back, the hips adjust in a nice, comfortable way. Realign the lumbar. One more breath here. And gently bring it all the way back up. And switch to the second side. Take your left knee over your right foot over to the left side of the mat. Come over onto your right hip and come into a nice organic stretch for your left hip, which is nice, easeful, tipping over to the side. Twisting and turning and getting a nice little ring out of the organs and of our abdominals that we've been really kind of pulsating through. Now we get to wring them out. Or maybe we're wringing them in. I don't know what works the best for you. One more breath right here. And exhale, bring it all the way back up. Knees into the chest, right leg up to the sky and the left leg forward. Supine leg stretch or Supta Parangostasana with your peace fingers around your right big toe. Roll the lower belly up and take your left hand towards your left thigh to remind your thigh to stay down, and stretching in towards the right hamstring, using our abdominals to coil up to kind of scoot the sit bones a little bit more underneath us for the hamstrings to be freed up. One more breath right here. And exhale, bend your right knee in and switch sides. So straightening our left leg up towards the sky with that sweet micro bend into the back of the knee, and either staying here for supine hamstring stretch, hip flexor stretch, both, one on each leg, or take your peace fingers around your left big toe for Supta Padangustasana, hand to big toe pose. Take your right hand to your right thigh and then roll yourself up, head towards knee. Use your abdominals to lift yourself up here. Give yourself a few breaths. Making some good, nice, juicy memories for the left hamstring. And then exhale, release, bring it back down. Knee into the chest, extend everything back out. And extend your arms over the head for one more nice big full body stretch. Knees into the chest, roll yourself up and come into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedaling into the ankles, to the heels, to the knees, this way and that way. It's nice to come into down dog after being on our backs for that long. Let's come up onto the toes, bend the knees, and tip your heels over to the right side. Stretch into your left side of the waist, claw the fingertips, and come all the way up and over with your heels over towards the left side. Stretch into your right side of the waist, and then gently take it all the way over into downward facing dog again, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And we're going to come down to the knees, to the chin, to the chest for Ashtangasana, making some nice curve in the spine. And then inhale onto the belly, come onto your forearms for forearm cobra or Sphinx pose. Pull the palms down, pull the underarms down and in towards the hips and get a nice big traction, extending belly, bring the shoulder blades together onto the back and downward and getting to kind of tap in towards the whole upper back. And then exhale, bring it back down, hands by the shoulders, child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, one breath, and then gently downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. One breath here. Nice big breath to all parts. Come over to your plank pose. Take your knees to the floor. Take your chest and your chin to the floor for Ashtangasana. Breathing, softening, melting, having some nice curves in the spine. And then inhale, come to the belly. Move your hands by the shoulders. Turn your palms slightly out for low cobra. Pull your legs back. Lift your heart, your chest, your lungs. Take your ears back, free up the chest and the lungs, and then exhale, pull it back down into child's pose, big toes together, knees apart, bringing it all the way back for one breath. And gently come to down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, spread the fingers nice and wide, anchor in towards the heels, one more plank pose, and then lower knees, chest and chin to the floor, Ashtangasana, opening up the throat, making some nice pathways in the spine, and then inhale and come into any of those previous cobras, forearm cobra or low cobra, or lift it a little higher if it's for you, and tone into the whole posterior muscles. Lift the heart, the chest, the lungs, stretch the legs all the way back. And then exhale, bring it back down, push back, child's pose, big toes together, all the way back with your seat to your heels. And gently downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedaling about into the heels. Lift your upper arm bones, make space for the shoulders, make space for the upper back. Couple of breaths right here. And then gently make your way over to plank. One more Ashtangasana. Knees to floor, chest and chin to the floor. Hands, toes, knees, chest, chin. 8-pointed chaturanga. And then we're gonna come all the way to the belly and take our hands behind, interlace, hands on towards the sacrum. Click all your 10 toes down. And then from there, extend your arms, extend your legs, and come into your Ashtangasana, or keep your hands on your sacrum and see what works the best for you. One more breath here, lifting the shoulders up and away, releasing the hands to the sides. And exhale, bringing it all the way back down. Hands by the shoulders, come up to all fours. Come into tiger dog, scrunch your yoga mat up, tuck the toes, have them wide as your mat. Walk your feet in slightly, bend your knees, and bring your thighs and your torso, the ribs towards each other, and push your mat forward. Find lots of space in the upper back, look between the hands. One more breath here. Exhale, sink your heels down, and downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your feet to the hands, please. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Press the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Hands to the sky and hands to the heart. And release, hands to the sides. Inhale, bring it all the way up. Arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana. Step to down dog. You can flow through a vinyasa if that's what you love to do. Step your right foot between the hands. Take your left knee to the floor. Sweep the arms forward and up. Come into a nice even stance, thigh stretch, Anjasana, with your hip and knee stacked, with your knee and ankle stacked. Tailbone down, release in towards the left hip flexor, pull the lower belly all the way in. Hands to hips, and then from there, move forward into low lunge, Anjasana style, with your right hip back, your left hip forward, tone into the belly, and then from there, take your arms up, palms together, hands behind the occipital ridge, the lower, the base of the skull, and press your palms together. Lift it up and up and up, and coming in towards your quad stretch. And exhale, hands up to the sky. Inhale, and bring your hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift your upper arm bones, and then step your left foot between the hands. Right knee to earth. Sweep the arms forward and up. Come into your low lunge thigh stretch, which is hip, knee, knee, ankle, stacked. Tailbone down, pull the lower belly in, and get in towards your iliopsoas. Arms up to the sky, lower belly pulls all the way in. One more breath here, and then exhale, hands to hips. I hope you can really feel that really nice hip flexor release and stretch. Come forward in the outer hip from that place of hugging in. Take your arms forward and up, hands together, heel of the hands come together at the base of the skull. Pull your left hip forward and lift it all the way up and up and up and back and up and back, and lift your arms up towards the sky, and then exhale, release, hands to the floor. Step it back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, take your step or your hop over to your hands. Inhale, long spine, exhale, fold. Press the feet, inhale, hands up to the sky, and exhale, hands to the heart. And release, inhale, bring it all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hinge and fold, bend at your knees. Inhale, long spine, place your hands on the floor, on your mat, step back, down dog please. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your right foot outside your right hand, still on the mat. Bend it all the way down and then extend. So you have a little bit of an angle on your right leg. Bend it back down, inhale, long spine, exhale, heel down, toes up, and exhale, inhale, one more, extending, and then from there, come all the way back down, turn your right foot out at an angle. We were here yesterday, and we'll come back to it today again. Toes out, karate chop your right little toe side. It's an excellent stretch and opening for the rotators of your hip. Karate chop that right little toe side. Come to your forearms at any time if that works for you. Pull the lower belly all the way in. And then from here, come with your right foot flat with your left knee onto the earth, left hand out to the side. Sweep your right arm up to the sky. Take your right hand to your left foot for a quad stretch, bringing it all the way in, and take the gaze up towards the sky, and then you can push your hand and your foot into each other. And exhale, release, gaze down, bring it all the way back down, hands to floor, step it back, downward facing dog. You can stay here or you can come forward to plank, lower to the earth, inhale into cobra, inner shoulder to outer shoulder, and exhale, release, and push back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Taking a nice big saturating breath here to all parts of the body. Stepping your left foot outside your left hand, and both hands are supporting you on the floor, bending a little more down and lifting your heart, your chest, and exhale, heel down, toes up, and bending it, bringing it all the way back up, and heel down, toes up, and one more time, taking it all the way back, and heel down, toes up. Then we'll come into our low lunge karate chop with your left little toe side, karate chopping down, and you can see the plantar side of your foot lifting in towards your right hip flexor, in towards your right quad, and finding those rotators on the left side, moving back and forth. And then exhale, bring your right knee to the floor, and left foot is flat. Sweep your left arm up for low lunge, quad stretch and twist. Take your left hand to your right foot, knee in to start, and then from there, bring it all the way up towards the sky. And then take your foot and your hand away from each other. One breath right here. And exhale, take the gaze, take the hands and down and step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, stabilizing all the parts by coming into a nice, stable, even down dog, grounding through the palms, through the feet, and coming up onto the toes, bend the knees, look between the hands, come step forward. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, fold. Press the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. And take the hands to the heart. Release the hands. And then from here, we're going to come to standing. You can be on your knees and sit down too, but you might be standing with me with your feet hip widths apart. Take your arms out to the side. Just a nice big X. Take your right arm up to the sky and turn your left thumb down, and then take your hand behind you, find your hands, or use a strap, or take your shirt and stretch in towards your shoulders. And this is also a place where we were yesterday. So the hands lands kind of right behind the heart, if it's available. Sometimes it's available, sometimes it's not. And then we'll use maybe one arm. We'll do one arm that bends and stretch. We'll take it for where we're at. And then gently switch to the second side. Inhale, arms out to the side. Bring your left arm up and behind you. Take your
right arm and take your thumb down with your palm away from you. Find your hands or your shirt, or use a strap or a scarf. So your hands and your fist kind of lands right behind the heart, between the shoulder blades. Nice. And then exhale, release. Take it all the way back down. Nice. And come to the front of your mat unless you're already there. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. And exhale, hinge and fold, Uttanasana, forward fold. Step your left foot back, nice big step back, and come into a high crescent lunge with your hands to your thigh to start. And you probably already guessed it, that we're going to take our Gomukhasana arms into this high crescent lunge pose. So let's sweep the arms forward and up to start. Maybe we'll stay right here. Maybe that right hand comes behind, and we give it a little help with your left hand onto your right elbow. If it feels stable and great, then take your left arm behind you and find your hands and lift it up, and having a nice bind on the hands or strap, and quad stretch and balance, and blasting skin to muscle, muscle to bone, to clear and clean energies, and aligning with something bigger around us by staying into our center line. And then exhale, release. Bring your arms back up to the sky, and then exhale, hands to earth. Step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Step your right foot back, switching sides, high crescent lunge, hands onto your left quad to start with. Pull your left hip back, your right hip forward, so that your hips are really aligned towards the front. Take your arms forward and up. Maybe this is plenty. Left hand can come behind you. You can take your right hand on your left elbow. You could go and find your right hand and your left hand, and seeing how that feels. Lifting your head, chest, shoulders, lifting back, staying nice and centered, aligning with something bigger around us that just is holding us here. And then exhale, release from there into arms up to the sky, and exhale, release, hands to the floor, step it forward, forward fold, Uttanasana, hands to earth, step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press the palms down, lift the upper arm bones at the same time, so there's a nice traction into the spine, into the shoulders, into the whole body. Step your right foot between the hands and make your way into Pigeon Pose on the right side. Tuck the back toes. We'll do little pigeon waves on our first round. Left knee is down, and then we're gonna have the arms wide, and we're just gonna float up and down a few times here. Inhaling, exhaling, getting some nice waves in the spine, some nice movements, some nice binding parts together by flushing energy through them. Take your palms to the floor, switch sides. Take your left foot forward and find your way to Pigeon Pose on your left side. Tuck the back toes under and Karate-Chop your left little toe side. Broaden your hands and your arms and do our waves together, creating space for our hips, for our shoulders, and just really making some good connections, upper and lower body. And exhale, bring it back down. Hands by shoulders, flat on the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. And now we have come to our mermaid pose in Pigeon Pose, or merman, any sort of any sort of sea creature. So let's step your right foot between the hands and find Pigeon Pose on your right side. Aligning with something bigger around us that carries us through this pose. Tuck the back toes under and then pull the skin to muscle, muscle to bone, and lift yourself up so that you have a nice lifted seat. If you need support, bring a block underneath or pillow or something that feels nice and stable. Take your left hand to the back, find your hand inside the foot, and press your hand and your foot away from each other and find a nice open shoulder stretch here, and for sure a quad stretch as well, cleaning and clearing layers. Stay nice and stable into your core, into the front of the spine. Move your foot into your elbow crease. Sweep your right arm up, stay centered, find your hands and find your bind and come into your back bend, into your quad stretch, into your pigeon pose with a different form and a different style. And then exhale, release, and bring it all the way back down. So any of those that we led up to certainly works really well. And we just rinse and repeat and do it over and over again until it's there. One day it's there. Press the palms, heels, and find your stability in down dog. And then we'll move from that nice centered place into mermaid, merman pose on your left side. Let's step the left foot between the hands, find pigeon, and again, put something underneath your left hip at any time. I like to lift it up, and I like to instruct it as pulling everything into the midline so that we can sit here and have your left seat lifted. There's a lot of blasting energy through all layers. Take your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Left hand for now I have onto my left quad. So it's nice to have the knee facing down on your right side, the quad facing down. See if the hips can start to face forward. It becomes an intense thigh stretch. Maybe that's plenty. Maybe the foot can find the elbow crease. Maybe the left arm comes up and perhaps it goes and finds the hand. Press the foot in towards your right elbow crease and stay blasting energy into the midline. Clean and clear stagnation by just hovering and finding a fun shape for the body to be in. And then exhale, release, and find downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Excellent. From here, take your feet wide as your yoga mat, half on, half off, and come with your hands to your hips. Come up to standing and bring your arms forward. Find your fingers touching each other. Bend into the knees and come into a functional forward bend where we have the hips and the ankles stacked above and below each other, where we have severe mudra with our fingers, our palms, which helps us to lift any stagnation from the lower back. It also helps us to align, it helps us to stay centered in the core, it helps us to find the new pathway in the back, and we just very slowly start to hinge forward. And slowly, slowly, and slowly, and slowly, maybe the fingers finds blocks, maybe the fingers finds the floor. Hinge your hips and your ankles above and below each other and create lots of new potent space for the whole spine. Worked at the same time toning the lower belly all the way in and up in a nice strong way. And gently come all the way onto a seat, crossing our legs, coming into Siddhasana, Sukhasana, any of those that works for you. We are going to just take a comfortable seat and let our layers soften and settle down from our practice today. And we're going to take another form of pigeon after we just kind of let all the little buzzing around us settle down. We're going to take a seated pigeon pose, which for me is the right foot comes forward, the left foot is in towards the groin, towards the seat. So we have a diamond shaped form on the right leg and a happy pose form on the left leg. And then we'll come forward and just simply put the hands on the floor and support here wherever we are in the right hip and the rotators. And we move it all the way forward. And maybe you have hands on blocks, maybe you have hands on forearms on blocks, or maybe you have your forearms to the floor. And then we'll do our best just to relax the head and let there be a nice stretch for the whole spine, and especially for that right outer hip, the right rotators, the lumbar spine. And we'll just take another 3 nice closing breaths right here. Softening, letting gravity help us with the stretch. And gently bring it all the way up and switch to the second side. So we'll take the right foot in towards the groin and the seat and the pubic bone, and the left leg is in a nice diamond shaped form with a little pinky toe side onto the floor, just like in our crescent lunges. And then we'll see how it feels to take the hands forward. Maybe we want to sit more upright. Maybe we'll bring in blocks or books or pillows. Forearms can come down. The key is to just let the head relax as much as possible so there can be a nice, clear, clean current of energy to realign the spine and front and side and back of the spine, and especially down towards the sacral region, the lumbar spine, and the hips. Relaxing the head. One more breath right here. And gently bring it all the way back up. And we'll take Upavishta Konasana, feet wide apart, and stretching the legs out, opposite direction. Finding our sit bones nice and flat, hamstrings down, inner thighs wide back and apart. Take the arms up towards the sky and take the palms, turn them upside towards the sky as well. And just get this nice elongation. And we're just letting the energy from the hips sip out the legs after our seated pigeon pose. And then exhale, release hands to the sides and take the right arm up for a nice crescent stretch, or just a nice current of energy of higher vibrations reaching that whole side of the waist. And switch to the second side. Inhale, bring it up towards the sky. Big full extension on the left side. And exhale, bring it all the way back down, keeping that nice side body length after all that. Stretching into our mermaid pose. Take a nice seat on a pillow or blanket or however you'd like to sit, or you might be laying down for a shavasana right now, or you might take it after our closing. So pick what works for you. I really do my best to keep these sessions within 30 minutes, but that's really, really hard for me. So I hope you're still with me, and I hope you had a great time working our way into mermaid pose today. And I hope that you feel a whole new vibrancy and the layers, new frequencies coming in, and just a nice way of being after hugging into a healthy core and extending out in yoga poses for 30 days with me. So I thank you for that, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Let's join our hands together and take an Om for a closing. Take a nice big inhale. Om. And release the hands. And either lay on your back, get cozy, or sit for a few minutes in a seated Shavasana, seated meditation. And weave all the clear energy that we just created for ourselves, bathing in a nice new frequency and vibrancy for our outer layers and our deeper inner layers to resonate from. Namaste.